Time equals influence. Time equals influence. And I think this is something that my parents did incredibly well. They invested a lot of time into me, my brother Kevin, and my brother Jonathan. That's why my dad, to this day, he still continues to have a huge influence on my life because he invested hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of time into my life. Now, I want to give you I think it's a cool illustration of what I'm talking about as it relates to time, and hopefully this will help this to sink into your life. But this illustrates the importance of being intentional about three things. And I want you to see something. This is a guy at North Point Church named Reggie Joyner. He figured this whole thing out. I kind of tweaked it for us this morning. Let's just say, not just say, this is true, 52 hours, 52 weeks in a year, okay? Let's just say that you come to church, all right, or that you have your kids in church 40 weeks out of those 52. I mean, there's sometimes when, like on Wednesday nights, we may not, because of a holiday, our middle school, high school students don't meet, all right? And there's sometimes their kids can't be here. So let's just say that they're with us here at Westridge 40 times out of those 52 weeks of the year, all right? And they meet 2 hours every time they come on Wednesday nights. And I'm talking primarily about middle school, high school students, and you can do the math if you're bringing your kids into KidQuest. That means there are 80 gumballs inside this water thing here. We get to invest as a church, all right, 80 hours into your kids' lives, all right, through the whole year. Through the whole year, 80 hours, okay? If it's KidQuest, it's about 40, all right, unless I go overtime on my talk. Now, I want you to see the influence that you have as a parent, all right? This represents right here 3,000 hours in a year. All right? 80, 3,000. Okay? But here's what happens, and I want you to see this, and this is so important. All right? This is pretty much what your influence looks like as a parent before your kids get into school. All right? Once your child gets into school, okay, here's what happens. We start giving away, as a parent, we start giving away influence. Okay? And here's what we do. We take influence and we hand it over. Now, I'm not sure about this, giving it. All right, Corey Brown. There you go, brother. Appreciate it. When my kids get into school, I'm handing over influence. All right? Now, my kids get into middle school, guess what happens? They become more involved. There's more extracurricular activities. There's things going on after school. Their friendships become even more and more important to them. I feel a little bit better about this one. I'm giving more influence away. You see what's going on here? And then they get into high school. I don't know about you. My kids are very involved in sports. Their friendships have become more and more and more important. And I'm giving more influence away. Now, I want you to see, you will always have influence. But once your kids get to a certain point, I mean, you're continuing to give it away. You're continuing. It becomes less and less and less. So listen, it is so important. This is so important. This is so important. But what I just did up here, listen, leads me to that third point. Their relationship with people outside of your home. That relationship is so important. Here's what Proverbs chapter 13, verse 20 says. Whoever walks with the wise becomes wise, but the companion of fools will suffer harm. See, this issue becomes a bigger deal as you see as our children get older. Your children's friends, the people that you put into your kids' lives, that you allow, coaches, teachers, whatever that looks like, they're going to have a huge impact on the direction and the quality of your children's lives. And this is where some of your toughest moments as a parent are going to come into play. And so the question is, what are you doing to influence the people that your kids are having a relationship with outside of your home? Not just what are you doing to keep your kid away from so-and-so, but who are the kids and the people that I need to bring into my kids' lives to help grow them to be successful adults?